my gorgeous, sparkly, scrumptious blue angel. Welcome to this new edition of Blue Angel Love Tarot. This is going to be a channeled messages tarot reading from someone who has passed over to the other side. It is a celebrity reading. We will be channeling Freddie Mercury on his birthday, September the 5th. This video will be coming out on September 6th, but we're channeling the energy on the 5th for Freddie Mercury. I understand that this is a little bit new. It's unorthodox, but bear with me, baby. I am not a psychic medium. I'm no, Long Island medium, nothing like that. I don't do that kind of thing. But I do work with tarot a lot, and I do work with the other side. I have a lot of Plutonian, deep, depths and unconscious energy that I work with. A lot of it is in my chart. I'm a double Scorpio. I have a lot of other stuff going on in my chart as well. And I've always been connected to the other side. It's something I don't advertise. I don't make a big deal of it. I think there's there's reasons for that, but it's not a secret, but it's just something that I don't like to put out there too much. But I've decided to do this little series where, we speak to certain people, or, we speak to energies, they're lingering energies on this earth. If they let us, if they want to speak to us, we can try and connect with some celebrity people. I did ask Freddie if he wanted to communicate with us today, and we did get the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups before I even started the reading, because I wasn't sure. Sometimes, not everyone wants to talk. He was a very private person in his lifetime, and he didn't, always want to put some things out there, so we're going to put some limits on the reading too. There's certain questions I'm not going to ask him, but I think he is ready to talk. There's a lot of love here. There's the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups, so this is someone who is willing to offer us some messages, or definitely messages of love and messages of friendship here. So let's get on with the reading. Let's see what happens with Freddie Mercury today. I'm a big fan of Freddie. I grew up when I was like a tiny little child. It was like the 90s, like he had just passed, and I remember being really affected by it. I've always been inspired by Freddie. I think if I were to name one artist that inspired my work as an artist, and my work, just my self-work, as a person, like how I constructed myself, how I overcame difficulties in my life, I think Freddie Mercury would be the most formative, like #1 influence. So for that reason, I feel especially connected to him. I always try and remember his birthday. It's an important date for me, just because I like to honor him, and I like to be grateful for all the gifts and wonderfulness that he left to the world. Also, there's a reason why he called himself Mercury. He was a Virgo, so he is connected to that Mercury energy, and I appreciate, the fact that he did give himself an identity. He did construct something unique in this world. It was just all beautifulness. So let's see. Please, angels and archangels, open up the possibility for us to speak to Freddie, so that it is Freddie. I know, look, there's protections all around. We're going to make sure it is Freddie that we're talking to. We're speaking through the angels and archangels of all the highest orders, so that it is Freddie who is talking to us. You already have the Six of Cups here, Bibbo. So I feel like Freddie is just saying hello. I think I was just talking about my childhood, so there is acknowledgement from Freddie. That is so sweet. Thank you, Freddie. Acknowledgement from Freddie to say he understands that he inspired me. I almost want to cry. This is childhood memory, so he understands that he could have, maybe brought inspiration not just to me, but to other people, and also another generation of children now that the, movie came out about him. And, he is someone who definitely overcame a lot of challenge. It wasn't easy to become what he became and to make the kind of art that he made. So, this is someone I think who connects maybe to children and childlike energy as well in general, because his childhood could not have been easy. I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm not saying that at all. And again, he was a very private person. If he chose not to talk about certain things, we don't have to talk about them today. But I feel like, someone who is so brilliant and so different and so unique and beautiful, that childhood could not have been simple or easy or straightforward. So I think what Freddie is saying already, that now that he's on the other side, I think in his energy, Because I think, look, I believe that if you're as big as Freddie, there's lingering energies, you know. It's almost like he has like a bigger reach because a lot of people remember him, talk about him, so his presence is still here, way more so than someone who, you know, maybe isn't spoken about as much. So with that Six of Cups, I think he feels really like connected to children, and you know, almost like a little patron for children, or maybe children who feel different, or anyone who had a childhood of difference. I don't know why difference is coming up, because I don't want to like paint Freddie in that way. I don't think he was like different. I think he was quite popular when he was a kid at school, like all of that. I don't think he was like anything like that, but I think he in himself felt like there was something different to him, or special, you know, whatever you want to call it. I think he was quite a humble person. Virgo is humble, you know. Virgo energy overpoweringly is hardworking, humble energy. I'm also Virgo moon, so I kind of get that Virgo energy. So I think he just felt like there was something about him that, you know, he just wanted to do something different. He wanted to be different. There was a sense of achievement or self-actualization that was very strong in him, and that's really coming up. And he is coming up as someone very loving. I remember watching an interview with him once, and someone asked him if he wanted children, and he kind of said no, like, you know, I work too hard or whatever, I'm too busy. But then he was like, well, I mean, you never know, like, it would be nice. It would just be like, it's funny. I think Freddie maybe sometimes thought about having children. I think he was very good with children too. I used to like fantasize that he was like my fantasy dad. Oh, that's so sweet. You got the Four of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, so I feel like this is a message from Freddie saying thank you, Freddie. You know, this is a reunion. It's nice to see everyone. It's nice to talk to some human people at the moment. You know, he's just being very kind, very nice. This is also, you know, an arc of triumph. A lot of Freddie's work was about that, so I feel like he's like, I really feel the energy coming through. I do feel like it's yellow. There's yellow in the card, but I also feel like the energy that I'm getting from Freddie is yellow. I don't know why, but pineapple is coming up as a smell for me. I smell and feel things sometimes. It may, you know, it may be irrelevant. I don't know enough about Freddie to know what he liked, but pineapple is coming through, and I do feel like this arc of triumph is kind of harking back to the kind of art that he used to make. So, you know, we are the champions, like, you know, these songs of triumph, songs of power. A lot of the Queen songs at the height of Queen was about that kind of, actually throughout the Queen trajectory was about that. So, you know, this is that idea of we are the champions, you know. And it's interesting because before I get it, Freddie. There's more messages coming through. I thank you, Freddie. I'll get into that in a second, but with this, you know, with the kind of art that he did, like, you know, there's like a song where he sings, like, it's, you know, I think it's We Are the Champions, where he, like, the words are like, you know, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I've considered it a challenge before all of you my race, and I'll never lose. So, you know, this is someone very much the artist who works very, very hard. This is that, you know, the energy of the hardworking Capricorn. I don't know if Freddie had Capricorn in his chart, but it's also Scorpionic energy. I'm a Scorpio, Sun and Rising. So again, you know, we're coming into these energies very strongly of like someone who works a lot behind the scenes. A lot of the work he did was not seen, maybe not even. There's a lot of stuff that Freddie created that was kind of left in plain sight, never really, I think, publicly acknowledged as much as it should have been. A lot of the songs he wrote, the messages that were put through, were highly clever and had many deeper meanings. And obviously, you know, the artistry, the practice, you know, having to work hard to prepare the concerts and things like that. You know, we the public don't see just how much hard work actually goes into these things, and he feels like he conquered over that. And this is, you know, this is a message for all of us, for you and me, from Freddie, to say, number one, you know, he's with you here. Like, there is no childhood that cannot be turned into a triumph, you know, no matter how difficult your childhood was. Oh my God, I'm getting really touched. I don't know who this message is for, but someone needed to hear that. There's like, you know, there's like triumph and beauty and a future in every kind of childhood. And, you know, you're never alone. There's always angels with you. And I think maybe he was connected to his angels. You got the Four of Wands. Oh my God, I'm getting so touched. You got the Four of Wands here. We're definitely channeling today. You got the Four of Wands here, so this is someone who overcame whatever difficulties he had, and it could have been with any kind of past, or, you know, whatever society was throwing at him at the time. He overcame all the difficulties, and he was happy to have done so. I'm sorry, Boo. Maybe we shouldn't channel these like readings, because I get really into it, and then I feel the feelings. It's like the sense of overcoming, you know. I think he was like 42 when he passed. And even at that young age, he felt like he had overcome so much. Like he had done the work, you know. He had done his work. This is like a graduation. It's a finality here. Oh my God. I'm not like a super fan of any artist. I just like, you know, kind of connect to the Freddie energy, and I really appreciate him. And it's interesting because before I started the reading, I noticed, and I have like autoimmune stuff with my skin. Sometimes I get like little bumps and bleeds, but like I've not had a bleed in a long time. And I noticed that I was bleeding, like my palm was, see the little prick? Oh my God, the little prick on my palm. Like I noticed this. I was bleeding before just before I started the reading. I noticed that I was bleeding. It's almost like, you know, the mark, like stigmata or marks of hard work. I think it's a message from that Freddie's energy saying like the amount of work he put into his life, you know, developing Queen, developing himself as an artist, his work, like his entire persona, the whole, like, you know, the whole mystique, like he worked so hard until he bled, like worked to the bone. Like he really did. I think this is a life of extremely hard work, and the work was so brilliant that we couldn't see just how difficult the work was. But I think, you know, anyone with a bit of imagination would understand that. There is some deception here too with the Seven of Swords, and it's like it's twofold here. I feel like what Freddie is trying to say, maybe there's a message coming through here. You know, you will take it as it resonates, Bill. And I'm not here to start drama, like I say. Freddie was a very private person. But I feel like Freddie is saying, number one, there was a kind of brilliance and trickery, and he understands, like in a good way. Like, you know, trickery as in like, he tricked the system in some ways. He, you know, he put little messages in his songs that were totally ahead of their time. And a lot of, you know, what he did was kind of like, you know, a lot of it was innuendo, and a lot of it was like, you know, kind of in between meanings, like, you know, reading between the lines. And I think he's very proud of that. I think I think that's the trickster in him. There's like a trickster, the showmanship, the trickery. Showmanship is trickery on some level, you know. It's a kind of magic, as Freddie would have said. So, you know, there's a kind of magic to this that he's very proud of. And I think he acknowledges and proudly says that he was ahead of his time. And he did it very beautifully and elegantly in a way that he got away with all kinds of things that most people wouldn't be able to get away in his day and age. So this is, you know, for us, I feel like it's acknowledgement that, look, Bill, you know, no matter how challenging things are for you, if you have an artistic idea, if you have something unique to say to the world, try and find a way to get away with it. Even if you feel like you know, there's no way to put it out there in a kind of up frontal kind of way. There's a way to put it out there that's like maybe a little bit more tricky, a little bit more subtle, a little bit more, you know, behind the scenes. There's a lesson here about how to put forward your messages. Of course, Mercury rules messaging, rules communication, and that is what Freddie Mercury was all about, Bill. I think there was always a much deeper message to what he was doing than was ever, like, you know, kind of on the surface. And I think there were many, many layers, 7 layers, 7 swords, 7 meanings, 7 layers to everything he'd ever said. It's an angel number 2. There's a very strong angelic energy here today. I'm feeling it very strongly. Thank you, Freddie. I think, you know, this is just me because I know a little bit of the story. I don't know, Freddie. What do you want me to say about this? Let me just ask him. I'm sorry, this is going to be a slightly longer video today. Yeah, okay, Freddie. Really? Okay, I'll say it in a way that's a little bit, yeah, I get it. Okay. Look, there's a lot of rumor around the whole, like, Queen situation and also the movie. I think, look, it doesn't take tarot and speaking to the dead to understand that Freddie would not have appreciated the movie that came out. If you've seen the movie, if you know Queen at all, the story of Queen, you know, there's a lot this band did after he passed that was kind of like pushing it a little bit. And he understands it was always about Queen. He understands that it was like, he was never, like, that's the thing. He was not a diva. So he was a diva, but like not in like a bad way. Like he was like a true diva, like on the stage. So he understands that the band needs to continue, like the show must go on kind of thing. That was always the concept. He would never have expected Queen not to go on. But at the same time, exploiting his name to this extent, there's like, he feels tricked a little bit by the recent events, you know, the movie, things like, there is trickery here. There's selfishness and trickery and drama that maybe was needless. I don't know. I'm not going to say Freddie is saying this. I'm just going to say I'm saying this as someone who appreciates his art and someone who definitely didn't appreciate the movie. I don't know if you know this, but Sacha Baron Cohen was going to play Freddie in the beginning, and I always thought he looked like him. And then when he was negotiating with the band, it turned out that he walked out of it because he didn't like that the movie, like, kept on going, that the movie that was meant to be about Freddie turned out to be about how amazing Queen are, like, as a band after his death. And he was like, this is disrespectful. I'm not going to play Freddie in this way. And, you know, there's a lot added and a lot, you know, like, put out there that Freddie probably wouldn't have liked to be put out there. He doesn't like this kind of trickery. The magician here, you know, there's trickery here. He appreciates that the legend goes on, but it's probably not the way that Freddie would have preferred to have been remembered. Not to diss, you know, the other people involved in the movie. It's not about the acting or anything like that. It's about the scripting, the story that was told, and a lot of the lies and misinformation that was spread through it. And it's not just about the movie. It's about how Queen has been functioning as a band since that time. I don't think he has hate for anyone, obviously. I don't think there is hate on the other side. But it's just like, he's just acknowledging that. This is just a little wink there, you know, darling, you know. How Freddie would have said it, you know, oh my God, oh darling, you know, with like cigarette in his hand or something. Yeah, I don't think he appreciates the situation. Is there a final message, Freddie, that you can give to my boo-boos? Is there a message for Blue Angel, Freddie, that you have for us? Thank you so much. And also, what can we do for you? Okay, so what is the message for the Blue Angels, and what can we do for you? Aw, boo-boo, just remember him. You know, like, look, the moon is coming up. What you can do for Freddie is whenever you look at the moon, whenever you're, like, having a nice night out, whenever you're enjoying yourself, having a little moment, if you ever see the moon and you remember Freddie, you can just say, you know, I remember you, Freddie. He's just saying, you know, be yourself. Be yourself, do your thing. The moon is beautiful, feminine, goddess energy here. You know, live the life of the goddess. Live your best life. Be full of yourself as well. The moon is full of itself. But again, it's doing that in a subtle, almost trickster way, you know. Don't ever let people tell you what to do and who to be. Always, always know who you are. That energy is here. But there's like one song, one very old Queen song that is about the paper moon. And I feel like it might be a reference to that, Teo Toriate, from the 70s, where he says, when I'm gone, it's just as though I hold the flower that touches you, and time is but a paper moon. So there's like, you know, the moon signifies things changing, times changing. But if you ever look at the moon and the stars, and also it's about astrology and goddess energy on our channel, so I do feel like he's just saying, you know, if you have a moment sometimes, you look at the night sky, remember me, boo. When you look at, like, also Fat Bottom Girls, because that's one of his songs, or if you look at, like, you know, Round Girls, he was totally ahead of his time, you know, Freddie. Like, people don't understand, like, how bad it was for, like, bigger girls like me back in the day. And, like, I used to, like, obsessively listen to his songs and, like, look at his videos from the 80s, like, trying to find some sense to my life, because he really bigged up bigger girls back in the day when it wasn't popular. And he was totally like a front to the goddess. And Nine of Swords here, a message for the Blue Angels, so he understands. So Nine of Swords is a message of worry, but it's like, don't worry, he's not saying be worried. I feel like Freddie is saying, you know, this is that Six of Cups card, you know, a lot of love here. Freddie is saying, look, he was all about the love. He was all about the flamboyance. Blue Angel, the OG Blue Angel, all right? Thank you, Freddie. Freddie is saying, you know, don't worry. Don't worry so much about love. Don't worry so much about the boo-boos. Delete from database. Don't delete from database. It doesn't really matter. What matters is loving yourself and living your true life, truest life, and being kind. And also friends are important. I feel like friends were really important to Freddie, and I think that's maybe a message he's telling us. You know, he is our friend, and you have friends in the angels. There's always friends around you. Surround yourself with good friends, because friends will get you through times of worry, Bidbow. Love isn't worth it. You know, love comes and goes. You can have whoever you want. You're fabulous. You know, and also don't ever let anyone doubt yourself and make you feel like you're not good enough, because Freddie thinks you're good enough. Freddie thinks you're gorgeous. Six of Cups and Four of Wands. Freddie says you can achieve whatever you want, Bidbow. And he will be helping us. I feel like now that we've done this channeling, this is so interesting. I'm going to put it out there. You guys can tell me if this is resonating for you. But I feel like now we've done this channeling. I really feel it in my head too right now. I really feel like Freddie's going to be a little patron guardian angel over the channel. Thank you so much, Freddie. We really appreciate all the messages that you've given us. Thank you for spending your time with me today, Freddie. I know this is so awkward, but I think he appreciates that. Freddie was that kind of a guy. Thank you, Freddie. Happy birthday. We celebrate you. We love you. We think you're the best. And maybe we'll see you next time, Freddie. Bibu, thank you for channeling Freddie Mercury with me today. I appreciate your love, your support, and I'm always humbled to think that you choose to spend your time with me, Bibu. If you vibe with my channel and you like my videos, why not subscribe, turn on that notification button, and of course, like the video, because liking the video really helps me out as a small creator on YouTube. And if you would like to get a personal reading with me, all the information is in the description box down below regarding how to get in touch with me. And also, my darling, let me know what you think about this message from Freddie. Do you like Freddie Mercury? Is it an energy that you connect to? And how did you respond to the reading? I really appreciate that, my baby. I'll see you next time, my darling. Stay sparkly, stay Mercury, stay gorgeous, stay moisturized, stay gorgeous and sophisticated, and may the angels protect you, boo-boo.